Hi guys, my name is Shivam
Hello guys, my name is Abhijit.
and welcome to our podcast channel.
Today in this video, we're going to talk about game week 7 of the Premier League. What a strange season this is turning out to be. Everton loses again against Newcastle. Chelsea won 3-0 against Burnley. Southampton won in a 7-goal thriller against Aston Villa and now moves into the European qualifiers position. Diego Jota, the new Liverpool signing from Wolves, strikes again as Liverpool moves to the top of the table as expected. Arsenal won at Old Trafford after 14 years. We'll be talking about it later in depth in this video. Leicester City defeats Leeds in a very tight match. And last but not least, Fulham won their first league match of this campaign and are out of the relegation zone as of now. So, Shivam, what do you make up of this week?
So this is the typical Premier League football that we expect. It's so full of surprises and everything. It's so unpredictable, and that's the best thing about Premier League. You can't like just decide beforehand ki who's going to win the match just on the strength of the teams. It depends on the players. It depends on the players' mentality. I mean, Chelsea Burnley match was, I would not say it was that much interesting because Burnley was sitting back. They were not creating chances and they were letting Chelsea players to come forward. And Chelsea have a very strong attack consisting of Ziyech, Werner, Reece James, Chilwell. Also, these guys left their left-right back coordination. It's also perfect. So their attack, when it gets into coordination, it's very difficult to stop them. Then I would talk about Tottenham and Brighton game was very close, and Tottenham Harry Kane won a penalty somehow, and they were 1-0 up. But Brighton made a good comeback, making it drawing level 1-1. And then Bale finally put his first Premier League goal, so that was like a big achievement for him, and it was a good goal. And Reguilon's cross to Bale was perfect. So Tottenham, but I guess Brighton, it was unlucky on Brighton because they have been facing pictures like this only, against Manchester United. Also, if you remember the last minute penalty that Manchester United got at the Amex Stadium, if you remember, they drew 2-2 at 95th minute, and then Bruno Fernandes he earned the penalty and then he scored. So it was unfortunate for Brighton and Liverpool, as expected. They are they were the crown champions of 2019-20 season, and now also they march forward. And to say at the last, I was very happy with finally like breaking our stereotype and breaking a stigma that we were never able to win against the top six away from like 2015. And this is like so this is unbelievable at the moment. It's like it's so difficult to digest this fact right now.
Yeah. So this is what Arteta is trying to do, right? Breaking all the stereotypes that are around Arsenal. And yeah, this is a typical thing about Premier League, right? You always expect the unexpected. Like Aston Villa and Southampton, two relegation prone teams, are now into the top 10 in
Yeah.
the points table. And Manchester City, for the first time after I don't know how, they are like below top 10. They're
Mm-hmm.
at the 10th.
They are below
And
us at the moment, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, they're below us, and Manchester United are in the 15th position. We'll go onto that match later. But first, let's talk about what do you think about Everton? Like they're starting their losing streak now. They
I guess it
lost
was
against
bound to
Newcastle.
happen. This was bound to happen. This was like a temporary form that, I'm not doubting the players, I'm not doubting the manager, but it depends upon the team morale. And Premier League is very competitive. And
Hmm.
Carlo Ancelotti at the moment is not offering that much to the Everton team. He's like playing with the same tactics. He's not ready to make much changes to his existing team. He's like, if I have won 4 matches with this squad and with this formation and with this tactic, I'm going to impose the same tactic for the next match. So that can't happen against different teams because different teams play with different formations. Some are like they are going to hit you on the counter attack. Some are attacking teams. Some are pressing teams. So that's how it differs. And Everton, I guess, they are not improvising at the situation. So if like Carlo Ancelotti is able to improvise, that's another thing. But I guess that's where they are lacking at the moment. So that's where
Yeah,
they're losing.
agree. Also, really impressed by what Southampton is doing. Like they're smashing every team. Ward-Prowse and Danny Ings are like smashing every single
The free
club in
kick
the
that
English Premier
Ward-Prowse
League.
took was so
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. Agreed. And Danny Ings just finds a way to score a goal. I don't know how. That was the most interesting match of this week, like Aston Villa and Southampton.
Yes,
Jack Grealish scored in like 90 plus 8 minutes,
yes, yes.
the third goal. Like that was really interesting.
Almost like they were 4-0 up, and I guess they were hit by 3 goals from Aston Villa. They put up a good fight. I guess Aston Villa, you need to commend them for that. It was very good performance, and they tried their level best. And scoring 3 goals, 4 goals, it's not easy. It's not an easy task. So I guess they did good, and they should look for positive for the next match because they are facing Arsenal next.
Let's talk about the Tottenham game. Tottenham won 2-1 against Brighton in Hove Albion.
Yeah, it was very close match. बहुत ही close था, I guess, and uh, I think so. Reguilon has been a good signing for Tottenham
Mhm.
from Real Madrid.
Yeah.
He's playing good. He's making good crosses and he's making the right tackles. And there's something I guess Spurs have at the moment that this player at the moment that who's ready to compete. And Spurs did good in the transfer market. They have bought good players, and of course, Jose Mourinho is coaching them. So
Gareth Bale scored first Premier League goal after 7 years. He last scored a Premier
2000.
League goal in 2013,
Hmm.
and now and that Real Madrid reunion, like Regulian gave that cross to
Yeah,
Gareth
yeah,
Bale,
yeah.
and yeah, he scored that goal. That was like, really nice. But like they are
But
above us in the table, so that's a concern for Arsenal. But
That's, I guess, that's not a concern because we have not been able to put up many goals.
hmm,
But Tottenham, they have put up a lot of goals. But at the same time, you look at their defense. Defense is not in good state. I mean, they are conceding goals. But you look at Arsenal at the moment. Arsenal are rock solid. We have the best defensive record in this league right now. I mean, who would have thought this? Ki we would have the best defensive record in this league, considering what kind of goals we have given in the past year. And this is just because of 2 players at the back that's making the difference. And it's Rob Holding and Gabriel.
and Gabriel, yeah, we were searching for a defensive duo for a very long time. Arsenal, we
Exactly.
searched for a defensive duo at Arsene Wenger's Rhine. We searched for them even at Unai Emery, and now we have finally found a duo that's like working for us. Like
Yeah,
it's
I mean, I was very hugely impressed. And, this formation 3-4-3 with Tierney like going forward. So these 2 guys, I mean, if they are at the back, then I can say that, we are not going to make a foolish mistake, defensive mistake, or they're not going to give away any chances.
yeah.
So I'm assured that, they will play well, they will defend well.
Yeah. We'll talk about this later, but let's first
Yeah,
talk about other teams. What do you make up of Liverpool and West Ham? Like Diego Jota is just smashing goals, man.
yeah, he's a smash goal. But at the same time, you look at initially West Ham through Pablo Fornals, that goal they scored was
Hmm.
also amazing. And West Ham at the moment they are doing something magical. David Moyes is doing something magical at the moment. So it's
I think the
very.
last bad performance was against Arsenal. After that, they've heavily improved their performance.
But that wasn't a bad performance. I don't think so. That was a bad performance because like they were creating chances, and Arsenal were lucky that day that we were not scoring goal. They were not able to score a goal. We somehow managed a move and we created that chance into a goal. But West Ham also that day was imposing onto us. So I would not say that they were like bad, but yeah, they have improved a lot from that match. And then the way they struck teams, the top 4 teams, top teams, any team, they are like competing for 90 minutes. And this was also a very close match. Liverpool versus West Ham was a very close match.
Do you think Liverpool will win the title again?
I'm not sure to say that, but at the moment, with the way Manchester City is playing at the moment, De Bruyne hasn't been in the best form. Rodrigo and the Manchester City midfield with also Aguero, they haven't been the Aguero, Kevin De Bruyne, and the Manchester City midfield that we used to see
Hmm.
until the last season. So I don't know at the moment, but at the moment it seems like Liverpool are going to clinch it away. But you never know who's going to fire from behind. Can be any team.
Kyle Walker
Premier
was
League,
amazing in that Sheffield United match, I believe.
yeah,
He
it was
scored a
amazing.
goal and he did brilliantly. So now let's talk about the big match, Arsenal against Manchester United. We
Yes.
won after 14 years.
And we went to the match with zero hopes. I was not expecting anything. We were not expecting anything. We were
Yeah.
like, let's see how it goes. And I was It just came, it turned out to be magical, I would say.
Yeah, a brilliant defensive display by us, a brilliant midfield display by us. Thomas Partey and Mohamed El Neni were amazing in that match. The
Like
Rob
confident.
Holding, Gabriel and Rob Holding are like holding our defense.
Exactly, exactly. And it's like uh, players are stepping up at the moment right now. Arsenal, we saw in that match, we saw a lot of players that step up their game.
Hmm.
We saw like defensemen already Holding and Gabriel. They were making like at the end when Manchester United was rushing for like comeback or a draw. You see the kind of balls that they were putting it was all in the middle, and the clearances that we made, Gabriel made, Holding made, and the tackles that were won by them. So amazing to see, and the kind of resilience that they showed for the full 90 minutes. It's so amazing because that was nothing that we saw in the last season with Mustafi and like Luis Socrates. They don't have this kind of work rate and like resilience inside them.
And Hector Bellerin, Rob Holding, and Mohamed El Neni, they have like really improved under Arteta.
They have hugely improved, and I would say Elneny and Partey like they pocketed the entire Man United midfield that was like present there. And Pogba, be it Greenwood, be it Fernandez, everyone was pocketed that day. And people were talking, Manchester United fans were talking that they have this diamond formation in the midfield, right? This
Yeah,
diamond formation. So it worked against RB Leipzig, so it's going to work against Arsenal as well. And you saw that only two guys and Elneny and like Partey, they were enough for this diamond formation.
uh, what do you think about Lacazette? Again,
Yeah,
we
I
come
was
back
going
to
to talk
Lacazette.
about that only.
Yeah, yeah.
I was talking, but I would say Lacazette did create a good chance that with Aubameyang, the pass that he did in the second half,
Hmm.
from the throw, Manchester United throw. So that was the only performance that I liked. Also, he made a good he like won the ball several times in the midfield. So that was good. But when it comes to shooting goals and scoring goals, obviously like same against Leicester. There was this clearly sitter that he had, and he completely missed that. And I was literally crying at the moment that this was the best chance that we could have to like score and go ahead, but he missed that, and I was like literally praying we just managed to get another chance somehow.
And Bernd Leno also did some amazing saves, right? That
Yes, there was nothing much for Leno, but I would
hmm.
say he was calm and composed during the corner kicks and that Greenwood shot that came to him. So it was good, and you expect Leno to perform this good because he's a world-class goalkeeper. And for me, I guess the man of the match should have been two players. It should be Thomas Partey as well as Gabriel, because like Gabriel at the end of the match, it was like shown in the video that I saw somewhere that he was bleeding. Gabriel was bleeding,
Hmm.
like blood was coming through his nose, and this was because like the kind of challenges that he was putting up on Greenwood, and he like he also slid on, but he didn't like cry about it during that time. Might have been like the medical side might have come, but this is like mentality that you want from your players, that they are ready to give and themselves for the complete 90 minutes. They're ready to push themselves for the complete 90 minutes. This is very exciting to see.
I was really happy that we did not require any Zaka or Ceballos to complete
Yes.
our team.
This is very unexpected because, like, for the first time, we have relied on two midfielders and they have delivered completely for the full 90 minutes. They performed well. So I guess this is a good sign for us. I mean, we can like rotate our midfield. This gives us a good opportunity to rotate our midfield. I would start Zaka and Ceballos in the midfield in that Europa League match if we have, and play with again Elneny and Partey in that Sunday match against Aston Villa. So we can like rotate our midfield, and this is good. Like this will make certain things like certain formations more viable and gives us different opportunities to try different things as well. This is the same Manchester United team that drew with Chelsea last weekend,
Yeah.
and they lost to Tottenham 6-1. 6-1 is it's a very big deal, and they also lost to Crystal Palace 3-1. So questions are being
Also,
raised.
they're 15th in the points table. 15th.
Yeah,
A team that finished in the top four last season, is now
yes.
currently 15th in the points table. Like,
And most of these Sky Sports, the pundits that they are, right? They are most of them are ex-Man United players, and
yeah,
whether it be Rio Ferdinand, Roy Keane, or Paul Scholes, they are like They also like they're not happy with what Ole is doing at the moment. I mean,
Hmm.
it was a very stupid decision to play Pogba at left wing. I
And
don't know why he
the
did
most
that.
stupid decision was substituting Bruno Fernandes instead of
Yes, yes,
Pogba.
exactly. And then they brought Matic. I don't know why they brought Matic. He's like
Yeah,
there's nothing like what he can offer. He's a defensive midfielder. He's not going to create chances for you. He's like our Xhaka, like what
yeah.
Xhaka is to Arsenal. He's like for them.
Also, when we signed Partey, everyone was talking about Zaka and Partey's like chemistry, but it's rather more of like El Neni and Partey suiting each other than
Yeah,
Ceballos and
this
Zaka.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the Sebas and Zaka must be like boiling at the moment. See what's happening. I mean, Elneny, where did Elneny came from? But this is what Arteta is doing. I guess he's like transforming players. I
Hmm.
mean, you see, like, Hector Bellerin was like he was not performing good last season, but you see what kind of transformation he has had. I mean, the kind of crosses that he's putting up, almost Aubameyang had a goal
He
in
was
at the
the one
top.
who earned us that penalty.
Yeah, exactly. This is good. I mean, you see Hector Bellerin, you see Elneny. I mean, Elneny when previously he played under Arsene Wenger, he was a substituted player. Like he used to come in the 75th minute and 70th minute, and then he would play for the 20 minutes. But I guess Arteta is transforming him into a complete player that you can look into, and that can suit his tactics. And Partey is world class. Partey is both a progressive midfielder and both like holding midfielder. He can like
Yeah,
you
box to
saw
box
he
midfielders.
took the chance. He took the chance of shooting from such a long distance, and then if on a DR straight, he was a straight
Yeah,
save, but he was
and
very
that was a
powerful.
really power shot. Did you see that?
Very
Yeah.
powerful.
Amazing power he has.
You could just make it out from like watching it. That was very powerful,
Yeah,
and De Gea's hand almost froze out when he like got the ball. And he was like winning the challenges in our box as well, and he was making clearances as well. So he's doing both. And people are calling him the next Vieira for Arsenal, and you never know. Like he's something that we have missed for some time.
yeah. And Arsenal fans are like always overjoyed when
Excited and over
yeah,
enthusiastic.
overexcited, over enthusiastic. Like he still has a lot to do for Arsenal. We still are
Yes.
in the ninth position, so doesn't
We,
change
I would not
anything
say
for
कि
us.
we played the best game. I mean, attack, if you consider attack, the kind of chances that we had, we could like easily be 2-0 up in the first half through Saka's header because it was a goal opportunity, and through Williams like kick or like through Obama. But somehow like Manchester United weren't that good, so we were lucky somehow I would say. But yeah, this was not the complete performance, but it was a great performance I would say. I mean, if Unai Emery would have been there and we would have been 1-0 up, then we would have surely conceded a goal. And this might have been ended up in a draw.
Yeah. Also, do you think it is the time to bring Aubameyang into center forward rather than a left
I
winger?
want Aubameyang. Yes, I want Aubameyang in the center.
So
This is
who do
high
you think
time.
will play as a left winger if comes into the center?
Left winger, I would say Willian can play on the either flank. He can play left wing as well as right wing.
Hmm.
So if Pepe is not stepping up and like Arteta is not keen to give him a chance, then if you could bring someone like Nelson
Yeah, I
can
would
come up.
really love to see Reece Nelson.
Nelson can play on left wing, yeah, right wing, whatever suits him, and William can play on the other flank. And Aubameyang is playing central. You can like sub him on for Lacazette after 70 minutes or 65 minutes. That is fine by me.
So, are you happy with this 3-4-3 formation, or you want like 4-3-3 again?
I think so. 3-4-3, we are winning matches. We are like able to perform defensively good, but that due to this we are lacking creativity at the moment. I mean, we are not able to generate the kind of chances that we expect to generate with the formation like 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. So I guess this formation is defensively like putting us in a strong position, but attacking wise, it's not suiting us. So we should like stick to 4-3-3 because like it's in the middle ground. You can like attack. You have some players who can be creative and who can create chances, and you can be defensive at the same moment. You look at Tottenham, they are playing with 4-3-3. You look at Manchester City, they are playing with 4-3-3. Liverpool is playing with 4-3-3. But yeah, I guess at the moment Liverpool and Manchester City are better teams than us, so that's why. But I guess we'll slowly switch to 4-3-3.
Also, Bukayo Saka is now turning into a permanent first team 11 player.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's good
he's
to see that.
consistently starting for Arsenal now.
I can't wait when Martinelli comes up next.
Yeah, but who do you think Martinelli will replace? Because I don't think Arteta is going to replace Lacazette because he plays Lacazette whatsoever form he is in. Like, Lacazette is there in the team, चाहे वो form पे हो ना हो.
Initially, I would say कि he should start him in the Europa League fixtures,
Hmm.
Martinelli. You know, he can like go ahead with that, and then FA Cup wale matches, initial matches, he can go ahead. But you see, you have seen we have seen that what Martinelli can offer us. That goal against Chelsea and the goals against Sheffield United and another I don't remember exactly, but
He
he
was the
scored
one who brought us into that FA Cup semi-final.
exactly, exactly. So 10 goals, he scored 10 goals in 26 matches last season. So that's, and he's just 19 years old. So that's a huge achievement. I mean, you look at Lacazette, the kind of opportunities that Lacazette had. And, but if you look at the position that Martinelli is comfortable at, it's left wing.
Hmm.
So I would say कि if we like playing with a B team, या फिर like if like Aubameyang is not playing in that match, or if he's rested, then if Aubameyang is playing left wing, then we can play Martinelli as a left wing, as an like a backup option for Aubameyang. If like Arteta prefers to play Lacazette as center striker.
So, do you think Rob Holding will get replaced when Pablo Murray or Caleb Chambers returns from
I
the
don't think
injury?
so. He should replace him. I mean, like these two guys should be our like Premier League centre backs at the moment because William Saliba is not coming up. So Rob Holding and like Gabriel, their partnership is good at the back. They are showing us glimpses of that Saul Campbell and Kolo Toure that we had during the Invincible season. I'm not
Hmm.
like bragging about it, but yeah, you look at that and you can relate it to them because they are defensively very solid. They have good coordination at the back and they are making clearances, and that's what we want. I mean, why should we change the like
Yeah, but
behind?
primarily Arteta bought Pablo Murray to replace Mustafi from the starting 11. Man.
Yeah, but actually, I just think that Pablo Mari didn't work, and we have now got Gabriel,
Hmm.
who's like a left center back, and Pablo Mari also like he's like a second option, I would say. He's not a first priority center back. He's like that kind of center back who can like start in Europa League fixtures or maybe FA Cup fixtures, just to add like the depth in the squad, just like Cedric Suarez is present in our team, I guess.
Hmm.
He has the same kind of presence in Arsenal.
Also, personally, I don't think that David Luiz is going to come into the starting 11 again. He'll remain a substitute for Gabriel or Holding, I think, because Gabriel
Yeah,
or Holding are playing extraordinary.
yeah. I don't want to see him in David Luiz. And David Luiz has improved, but yeah, David Luiz has that kind of personality that he will make mistake.
Hmm.
And I'm thinking that if he played David Luiz instead of David Luiz, we played Gabriel in that Liverpool away wala match.
Hmm.
You know, I guess that could have made the difference because playing Gabriel and Holding made the difference in this match. And
Yeah.
even if you remember in Leicester wala match, we played uh, Luis and Gabriel at the back. Everything was good until Luis was there, but as soon as Mustafi came in, Leicester came up and they scored a goal.
Hmm.
So I guess they are, be it Holding or be it Gabriel, they are both sound at the back, and they are able to like if they are able to perform well, why should we change that? Why should we change that?
Also, tomorrow we are facing a Norwegian side. So,
Molding.
yeah, Molde. So, what do you think will be our like lineup for that game?
I think so. We'll play with a B
Hmm.
team like last week against Dundalk.
What
I
do you
would
think the
like
formation will be? The same 3-4-3, or we'll switch to 4-3-3?
no. I guess we'll switch to 4-3-3,
Okay.
and I want to see Polarin Balogun start tomorrow because like he's the guy
Who
who's
will
like
he replace? Eddie and Ketia?
yeah Eddie Nketiah, he got the opportunity to play in the Old Trafford match. No, so he played 20 minutes and he started the match against Dundalk also. So I would say, ki, what's the harm in giving him an opportunity? And if he's not able to score a goal, then sub him on for Nketiah.
Yeah, I think we should start like Pepe, Balogun, and Reese Nelson.
Yeah, same. And Willock in the midfield
Yeah, Willock in the midfield alongside with Ceballos,
and
Cedric,
Xhaka.
No, Cedric Soares, Ceballos, Willock, and Maitland Niles. I think Zaka को defense खिलानी चाहिए, like we did in the Trindle match.
as a center back.
Yeah, we played him as a centre back in the Trindle game. Na?
Class of man. I would love to see Runarsson get another opportunity because he played good. So Runarsson should get an opportunity, and like Bernie Leno should be rested for giving a good performance against Manchester United.
Yeah, and play like Kolasinac and not Tierney.
Huh. It's better to rest Tierney for the match. Kolasinac, I guess he was playing good. He was good against Dundee, but I don't know. Kolasinac is very unpredictable player. He very makes a lot of silly mistakes. So it's up to him. If he plays good tomorrow, then he'll like it will be good then, I guess.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching our video. We'll be soon putting up the next video on Aston Villa and Arsenal plus Premier League match week 8 games as well. So stay tuned to us, and if you like the video, so please like, subscribe, and please comment in any suggestions that you want. Thank you.